Hey guys, Ricky here. Now, when you're a beginner and you're just starting out, what you really want to do is you want to play songs. You know, when you go to your local hardware shop for the drill bit to drill a hole in the wall, it isn't really the drill bit that you want. You want the hole in the wall so that you can hang the shelf, so you can get the books out of the way, so that you have room for more guitars. I think that's what it is. So you can have more space for guitars. So with that in mind, what we want really is the hole in the wall. And when it comes to guitar and you're an absolute beginner, what you need is some simple chords to get you started playing songs. Because once you start to play some songs and you start to recognize that they're songs and somebody else recognizes the songs, then what happens is you get this massive reward bias. And that makes you want to pick up the guitar more. That makes you want to practice more, which means if you practice more, you're going to get good sooner rather than later because you're actually enjoying what you're doing. So it's really important to have that context of learning the things that you want to learn instead of the things that actually don't serve any purpose. So here is a useful chord change that you're going to come across all the time, especially in the key of G, which is the songwriter's key. We're going to learn a sad chord and we're going to learn a happy chord. I'm going to do some cheat fingering because I realize as an absolute beginner, what's going to happen is your fingertips, they're going to hurt. There's no two ways around it. You can't do anything about it. It's just something we all have to go through. All your guitar heroes have gone through this period of having to get their fingertips calloused. They go through that pain. You go away on holiday. 2 weeks later, you come back. Your fingertips are soft again and you have to toughen them up. It's just the price that we pay for the love of this instrument. Now, I'm going to show you the E minor chord. And I think the E minor chord is particularly useful because when you tune your guitar, that is as close as you are going to get to an E minor chord, just strumming those open strings. And this tells you that this is a really small chord to put on the guitar. So we're going to put the E minor chord on with these two fingers here. Now what I do is I kind of do this thing, this symbol. If you think about it, I just think Spider-Man, you know, when he's triggering his web in there. So you do that thing there, and then you end up using these middle two fingers. That's what we're going to do. We put them on in the sweet spot. Now, if you don't know what the sweet spot is and you want to learn more about this stuff and get going with being a beginner, then you might be interested in my Kickstart Guitar course here. And I'll leave a link for that in the description underneath. Here's what we want to do. We want to put two fingers on. We'll put them on one at a time. So we'll put the second finger, we're looking at the A string. So if we're looking at the names of the strings, so we've got Eddie 8, the A string at the 2nd fret. So if we put that finger on there, and then what we do is we put the 3rd finger on the D string underneath it at the 2nd fret. This gives us an E minor chord, right? And minor chords sound sad. So if I strum all the way along, I'm using my pick, and I'm just going to strum down. I'm going to stroke through all those strings. So you hear, that is my E minor, and that's the sad chord. You can hear that is sad there. This might be the sound that you get that's like, oh, I want to buy that guitar, but it's too expensive. I'm so sad. Okay, there you go. That's the sound. That's the minor sound. Now, what's useful is when you've got this E minor chord on, when you strum down, you just want that to be gentle. And strum it up as well. Let it pull against those strings there gently. Not too much. Not like that. That's a bit too harsh. Nice and gentle. Imagine you've got some butter out of the fridge, and you know what it's like when you've got the butter out of the fridge and you're trying to butter a piece of bread and it rips the bread up. You can't do that. The same thing applies with the pick on the strings. What we want to do is we want to butter it gently there like that. Really, ideally, you want the butter not to be directly from the fridge. Not just guitar lessons, life skill lessons here as well. So E minor, down and up. And then just practice doing that, moving that up and down there like that. And if your fingers get a bit sore, what you can do is you just take them off. And you can hear those open strings sound very much like that chord we just played. And then what you do is you just put those fingers back on again. I like this because it gives you the hand of rock, or it looks like the snail. Now what we're going to do is move one finger, and we're just going to move this to what we call a G chord. Now this is going to be a major chord, but I'm going to do a really super cheat, easy version of this. And I still play this. I play the full version, but I also play this cheat version as well because it allows my fingers that are free to do other noodly bits. Okay, so if I take that E minor, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that middle finger on there on the 3rd fret. Can you see it's on the 3rd fret of that E string? I go E string, I go to the F there, F sharp, G. Now what I'm allowing this finger to do, which as a beginner you'll probably be quite thankful for, is mute out the A string. Ordinarily, muting out strings involuntary is a bad thing, but in this case we want it to be muted out. Also, on this chord, I'm not going to play the thinnest E string. I can make the palm of my hand just touch that E string. It's not a good practice, but it kind of does the job as well. And what I could do is strum all the way down to there, and when I hit that thin E string, I can also just rest my pick on that E string as well. When I get there, use it as almost like the full stop of a sentence. Okay? We think about it as the full stop of a sentence there. And that is my G. Now, like I say, I could mute that out. Not the best practice, but if you ever look into the work of somebody like George Van Epps, you'll see that he played chords in weird ways and it actually works. As long as it works, it doesn't matter. As you progress through your guitar playing journey, you're going to see a lot of contradictions, a lot of people saying that's not the proper way to play things. But here's the one rule that you need to remember. If it sounds good, it's good. If it works, it isn't stupid. I'll just say that. Because I've got a high degree of control of my pick, I can miss that thin E string. You might find it a little bit trickier. But if you use that thin E string, almost like a full stop, see if I move my mute out of the way there, I'll get that thin E string. If that thin E string comes in, that's what the chord sounds like. It adds extra colour that we don't necessarily want. So here's the G. Yeah, muted like that. Okay, so I'm holding down one note at the 3rd fret on the thick E string, and I've got my A string muted, and the only strings really that are ringing are the D, G, and B string. And in fact, those 3 are a G chord in themselves. So listen. Everything's there. I'm just missing that body, and by putting that note on there, it gives me the body of the chord because we've got the bass note there. Now what I want to do is I want to practice switching between those, and this requires focus. So we look at the fretting hand here. Don't look up at the ceiling. What you've got to do is look and focus on the chording hand. Don't focus on this hand here with the pick. We need to program the chord change in. So if I strum that, while it's ringing, I'm going to take my finger off. I'm going to place that middle finger on that fret there and then put that 3rd finger on to get the E minor again. So I've gone from this G, which is a happy chord, stable sound, and then I'm going to go to this E minor here. Okay, then what you might want to do is to start to introduce counting. Yes, because music is made of beats, and beats is something that we count. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I was quite liberal with how the count worked there, but as long as I had it in my head that I was counting 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, focus on your hand, move over to the E minor chord, and put that on, strum it 1, 2, 3, 4. Moving back to the G, 1, 2, 3, 4, switch, 1, 2, 3, 4, switch, 1, 2, 3, 4, switch, 1, 2, 3, 4, switch. There you go. So these 2 chords here lead to you being able to play loads of different songs. Now, if you're interested, I've compiled a list of some simple songs that you might want to learn as an absolute beginner, and you can find that by clicking in the video description below. Now, the thing is, these aren't the only 2 chords that you can use to play songs, so you might want to watch this video here that gives you another 2 chords that will enable you to access even more songs.